Hello everyone, in this video we're going to go over the Book C, Unit 3 Vocabulary Words, numbers 1 through 30. Let's get started! Number 1 is the word cancer, but we're going to skip number 1 and we're going to do number 2 first. Number 2 is cell. Cell is a noun, and a cell is or are the tiny things that make up all life. The example says, skin cells, blood cells, and brain cells look very different from each other. The other sentence says, white blood cells help fight disease in your body. So, as the definition said, a cell is a tiny thing that makes up life. Everything that is alive is made of cells. Some tiny things like germs only have one cell. But people and plants, we have millions and billions of cells in our body. They make up everything. And there's different kinds of cells. In your brain, there are brain cells. Throughout your body, there are blood cells that move up and down your body. In your stomach, there's intestinal cells, and every cell has a different job that they do. Some of them make energy, some of them eat the food that you put in your body. They all do different things. And throughout your life, cells will copy each other and they will make new cells. So when one cell gets too old and dies, it can copy itself and make a new kind of like a baby cell. So again, cells are just tiny things that make up all life. So now let's go back to the word cancer. Cancer is a noun, and cancer is a disease where cells in your body grow faster and kill healthy cells in your body. The example says, some types of cancer can be cured more easily than others. So cancer is a disease. It's something that makes people sick. And this can happen when some cells in your body start to grow in a strange way. If these white ones are the normal ones, then these ones, the orange looking ones, are the strange cells that are growing faster and they are killing the other healthy cells. If they keep growing too fast, then this can become a cancer. Because it's killing the healthy things in your body, that means it's making you sick. And some cancers, we can treat them and people can get better, but it can also kill a person. So cancer is a very dangerous disease. And just like there are different kinds of cells in your body, there are also different kinds of cancers. There can be brain cancers or bone cancers or other kinds of cancers as well. The next word is charade, or there's a different way to say this. Some people, especially in the UK, can pronounce it as charade. So you can say charade or charade. And this word is a noun, and a charade is something said or done that is a lie or false. It's done to pretend another choice is available even though it's not. So a charade is basically a lie. Let's look at the example. It says, he wasn't really sick. It was just a charade, so he wouldn't have to do any homework. So in this sentence, the word charade is talking about pretending to be sick. In this example, the charade is that he was pretending to be sick. So we can use this word when someone is pretending to do something, but it's not true. It's a lie or it's false. And be careful because there is a game we play called charades where there's a person who's doing some movement or action with their body and the other people have to guess what they are trying to do. But this is the charades game. In our vocabulary word, we're talking about the actual meaning, that it is a lie, something said or done that is a lie. Another example I can make is like this. I can say, This website was just a charade to steal people's money. So let's say something on the computer is not real, it's a lie, and they want to steal people's money. So I can say this website was just a charade. Our next word is complicate. Complicate is a verb and it means to make more difficult to do or understand. For example, the bad weather complicated our vacation plans. We'll often use this word complicate in the past tense as complicated. So usually something complicates, so it makes it difficult to do something else. Like the bad weather complicated our vacation. Or the traffic complicated our road trip. Other words we can use would be confuse, and the opposite would be to simplify. This word is used a lot when you have some kind of plan and there's something that's making your plan difficult. In that case, you can use complicate. Our next word is cure. Cure is a noun, and a cure is something that makes a sick person healthy or well. For example, scientists are searching for a cure for cancer. And some synonyms would be remedy or treatment. So when someone is sick, the cure is the thing that will make them better. Cures can be some medicine like pills or some liquid, or maybe some sort of shot. That can be a cure to something that's making someone sick. Our next word is declare. Declare is a verb and it means to say in a strong or firm way. For example, she declared that she would never speak to him again. So declare is another way that you can say the word say. So instead of saying someone said something, you can say someone declared something. By using the word declare, it means they said it in a very, very strong way. For example, my mom declared she would turn the car around and go back home if we didn't sit nicely in the seat. So when they are declaring something, they are serious. They are not joking. And they are saying something usually a little bit louder and stronger than normal. So when someone is saying something in a strong way, you can use the word declare. Our next word is destructive. Destructive is an adjective and it is something that causes things to break or be destroyed. For example, tornadoes can be very destructive. Other words we can use instead of destructive would be catastrophic or devastating. So something that is destructive, it usually breaks a lot of things or destroys a lot of things. Of course, we can describe natural things like tornadoes as destructive, or things like fire or comets or big waves in the ocean or bad storms. All of those things can be destructive. But we can also use destructive to talk about maybe a person who is doing bad things, and because they're doing bad things, they are breaking other things. So they can be destructive. I can say the destructive boy drew pictures all over the walls. So he destroyed the walls basically. Now his mom or dad have to paint the walls or have to get new wallpaper. So he was destructive. Our next word is detect. And maybe detect sounds familiar to you because of the word detective. So detective actually comes from the word detect. Detect is a verb and it means to discover or notice something. When you detect something, you are discovering it. You are finding it for the first time. For example, he detected anger in her voice. Remember, detect means to notice something. So maybe someone is talking, but the way they are talking sounds very angry to you. Then you can say, I detected anger in her voice. Or maybe someone is very happy. Then you can say, I detect happiness in your voice. What's the thing that's making you happy? The other example is, she detected the smell of smoke. So we can use this word detect a lot for smells. I detected a delicious smell coming from the kitchen. Or I detected the smell of smoke, so I went to see if there was a fire. And some synonyms of detect can be discover or find. Our next word is disease. Disease is a noun, and a disease is a condition that causes harm to a person's health. The example says, many diseases are caused by germs. And another word for disease is just sickness. So a disease is something that's making you sick. A disease can be something like an allergy. If you're allergic to something, that can make you sick. So it is a disease. Or it can be something like a stomach ache. Maybe you ate some bad food and some germs came into your stomach. So that can cause you to have a disease. Our next word is fascinate. Fascinate is a verb, and it means to catch and hold the attention and interest of a person or animal. For example, the moving string fascinated the cat. Or the baby was fascinated by the pictures on the TV. We can use this word fascinate as both a verb, and we can use it as an adjective as well. So I can say the children were fascinated by Mickey Mouse. Or I can say Mickey Mouse is fascinating to the children. So the second one was the word being used as an adjective. Another example would be, the book fascinated the girl. There we used it as a verb. Or we can say, the girl read the fascinating book. There we used it as an adjective. So again, anytime that something can get your attention and it can keep your attention, then we can use the word fascinate to describe that thing. Our next word is frame. Frame is a noun, and a frame is a simple structure that supports a larger object. I know that's a little bit difficult to understand, but let's look at the example. The builders have finished the frame for the new house. They will put up the walls next week. So here's a picture of what a frame looks like. The frame is the things that will hold up the house. So here, this wood is the frame of the house. All of these pieces of woods together is what we call the frame. And some other things that have a frame would be something like a car or an airplane. So the frame is what's going to hold up the outside of this thing, of the car or of the house or of the airplane. Without the frame, then if we just put walls together, they will fall down. Frame is important for supporting the larger thing. Our next word is frequent. And frequent means happening often or repeated often. For example, we make frequent trips to the store for milk. So when you do something in a frequent way, then usually you're doing it about 80% of the time. So it's not as much as saying always, but it's more than sometimes. We can use this word frequent for things that we do a lot. For example, I can say, I frequently wash my hands. Or some people have some disease in their body that makes it so they have to go to the bathroom a lot. So they can say that they frequently have to go to the bathroom. So when you do something a lot, you can use the word frequently. Our next word is globe. Globe is a noun, and a globe is a round ball with a map of the earth on it, or anything shaped like a ball. The example says, the students looked at the globe to find Spain. Maybe you've seen a globe before. It looks like this. It has a map of the planet Earth on it, and it has this frame here that's holding it up, so that way you can spin it around. We can call this a globe. But we can also use the word globe to describe anything that's shaped like a ball. So if you ever see a building that has a round shape at the top, you can say that building has a globe at the top. Our next word is landslide. Landslide is a noun, and it is the falling of earth down a steep mountain. The example says, the landslide destroyed many trees on the mountain. This is what a landslide looks like. It can happen when the ground on mountains becomes too soft, and suddenly that causes all of the ground to start sliding down the side of the mountain. Of course, landslides are very dangerous, especially when they go across roads or when they go into towns. They can destroy buildings and they can trap people underneath the dirt. So this is called a landslide. And the last word is lung. Lung is a noun, and a lung is either of the two organs in the body that control breathing. And we often use this word as the plural lungs because your body has two lungs. The example says, we take air into our lungs when we breathe. So that's true. When you breathe in through your nose or through your mouth, then the air goes into your lungs, and that's what helps you breathe. You can feel it when the air comes into your body. Your chest goes out a little bit. It gets bigger because your lungs are getting bigger as well. And then when you breathe out, then your lungs get smaller, so your chest goes back down. And we'll learn about this word organ later on in the next video. So keep a lookout for this word as well. Marvelous is an adjective, and it means causing wonder or amazement. For example, it was a marvelous sight to see the space shuttle take off. And there are many synonyms for marvelous, such as amazing, astonishing, astounding, phenomenal, spectacular, wonderful. In the end, all of these words, including marvelous, they mean the same thing. They basically just mean wow or amazing. When you see something that makes you say wow or something that looks amazing, you can describe it as being marvelous. You can say, wow, that was marvelous. Or, she was wearing a marvelous dress. And of course, the antonym or the opposite of marvelous would be something that is just normal or something common. And this word commonplace just means the same as normal. Our next word is meteor. Meteor is a noun, and a meteor is a rock from space that starts to burn brightly as it enters Earth. It's often called a shooting star. Maybe you've seen one like this before. People like to call it a shooting star, but it's actually just a rock from space that's burning as it's coming into Earth. The example says, on a clear night, it's easy to see meteors streaking through the Earth's atmosphere. Our next word is nutrient. Nutrient is a noun, and a nutrient is something in food that helps people, animals, and plants live and grow. For example, if you don't get enough nutrients, you may become sick. So nutrients are things in food that help people grow. And here are 6 nutrients that you need to be healthy and grow bigger. Of course, we need vitamins. When we eat some fruits and vegetables, they give us vitamins that we need to stay healthy. We also need protein to build our muscles from foods like meats or nuts. We also need carbohydrates to give us energy. We need water, of course. Your body is made mostly of water, so water is very important. We need minerals and we need fats as well. All of these things together are the things you need to grow healthy and strong. They are nutrients. If you have too much of one thing or too little of one thing, then it can cause a problem for you. That's why people should always try to find a good balance of food to make sure that they're eating all of the nutrients that they need to be healthy. Our next word is organ. Organ is a noun, and an organ is a part of a plant or animal that performs a special task in its body. The heart, stomach, and skin are examples of organs in a human body. So inside your body, there are many organs, and all of the organs have a different task or a different job that they do. Your brain is an organ, your heart is an organ, your stomach and your intestines and your lungs, all of these are different organs inside of your body. They all do different things for you to keep you alive and to keep you healthy. Let's look at the example. The brain is the organ of the body that allows us to think and remember. So that's the job of your brain. It helps you think, it helps you remember things, and it's also telling the rest of the organs in your body what they need to do. Our next word is property. Property is a noun, and property is all of the things that are only yours. So anything that is yours, that is your property. The example says, the poor man's property included some clothing and little else. So someone who is poor, usually they don't have a lot of property. They don't have many things that are only theirs. The other example says, this bag is my property. So another word we can use for property is the word possessions. Possessions also means the things that are yours. So, can you think of something that is your property? It's only yours. Our next word is repair. Repair is a verb and it means to fix something that is broken. For example, the car mechanic repaired my tire. And some synonyms of repair would be fix or mend, because when you repair something, you fix it. And of course, the opposite would be damage. When you damage something, you break it. So I can use the word repair when someone is fixing something. I can say, the man was repairing my computer. Or the car mechanic tried to repair my car. The next word is shallow. Shallow is an adjective and it means not deep. For example, we walked across the shallow stream. We use the word shallow to talk about water. When the water is not deep and maybe you can stand up and walk around, then we can say it is shallow. And of course, the opposite of shallow is deep. When the water is deep, then you can't stand up and you have to swim around if you want to move. So, you should be careful when you're going into a pool. If you don't know how to swim well, then you should stay near the shallow part of a pool. Our next word is solution. Solution is a noun, and a solution is an answer to a problem or a way to fix it. For example, Mary used multiplication to find the solution. Or, the city is looking for solutions to the problem of crime. And another word we can use instead of solution is answer or explanation. When you use the word solution, that means that you have an answer for something or you want to know the answer for something. So I can say, the boy thought very hard and he found the solution to the problem. Or you can say, right now we don't have a solution to fix this problem, but we are working hard to find one. Our next word is stagger. Stagger is a verb and it means to walk or stand in an unsteady way or with a need for support. So when someone staggers, they can't walk straight. Maybe they are falling over to the side or they find it difficult to walk in a straight line. Like this poor puppy has some shoes on, so he finds it difficult to walk, so he is staggering. He's moving around in an unsteady way. Or here also, when he was going up the stairs, he staggered right here. He fell a little bit and then he fell again. He's unsteady. He staggered. The example says, he staggered in the dark until he found the light. That's another time many people stagger. When they can't see in the dark, it's difficult to walk straight without hitting something. So that can cause you to stagger. Our next word is swell. Swell is a verb and it is to suddenly grow larger. For example, the crowd swelled as the night went on. We know a crowd is a large group of people. So if the crowd swelled, that means it got larger. More people came. Or we often use this word when someone is sick. It says, an infection caused his foot to swell. Maybe there is something in your body that's making you sick, or you ate something that you have an allergy to, and that can cause your body to swell. Maybe just your hand or your foot can become swollen, or like this person here, his face became swollen after he ate something that he was allergic to. But the word swell just means to grow larger. So we can use it for things like crowds of people, or we can use it to talk about your body when a body part becomes swollen. Our next word is tactic. Tactic is a noun, and a tactic is your plan for achieving a goal. For example, their tactic to pass the test was to stay awake and study all night. So a tactic is just your plan. So I can say their plan to pass the test was to stay awake and study all night. When we use this word tactic, we usually use it in sports. So some people who are playing sports need to make a plan about what they will do when they are playing. This plan is what we call their tactic. We can say they had a good tactic to win the game. So they had a good plan about how to win the game. Our next word is trigger. Trigger is a noun, and the trigger is the part of a gun that you pull to make it shoot. For example, he pulled the trigger and fired the gun. So when someone is shooting a gun, this is what they push to make it shoot. This is called the trigger. This word trigger is often used when talking about this part of the gun, but that's not the only way that this word is used. Here's another example. This is a mouse trap, and the way a mouse trap works is that when the mouse steps on a part of it, then the other part will shoot up and catch the mouse, just like this. So here, the pen pushes down on this part and it causes the trap to close down, and if there is a mouse, it would trap the mouse there. So this part where the pen is pushing, we can also call that the trigger. So we can say the mouse triggered the trap. So in this case, the word trigger is being used as something that makes something else happen. Here's another example of something with a trigger. This is also a trap that's used to catch animals, usually larger animals like bears. And when an animal steps on this red part here, then this machine will close and trap it. So this red part here is the trigger. It's the part where if you push it, then something else will happen. So we can use this word trigger in those ways. Our next word is tsunami. Tsunami is a noun, and a tsunami is a very large, often destructive sea wave caused by a marine earthquake or volcanic explosion. So this is what a tsunami looks like. It's a very large wave, And this wave happens if there is an earthquake in the middle of the ocean. So under the ocean, there will be an earthquake, and that causes the water to be pushed forward like this, making a tsunami. Or sometimes if there is a volcanic explosion, so if a volcano explodes, that can also cause a tsunami to form. Tsunamis are very large and they're dangerous because they can be sometimes higher than buildings, so it can trap people under this water. The example says, if a tsunami is coming, you need to go somewhere high to avoid the water. So if you hear that there is a tsunami coming, you need to go to a very, very high place, such as a mountain or the very top of a building. Our next word is variety. Variety is a noun, and variety is a number of different things in a group. For example, they have a large variety of vegetables at that store. So you can think about variety as a lot of different things. If you go to an ice cream store and that store, they only have vanilla and chocolate ice cream. They don't have anything else. Then you can say that they don't have a large variety of ice cream. But if you go to an ice cream store and they have many different flavors, then you can say they have a large variety of ice cream flavors. Same thing when you go to a store and see some fruit. If the store only has 1 or 2 fruits, then that's not a variety. But if there are many different kinds, then you can use this word variety. And we don't only have to use it for food, we can use variety to talk about any time that there are many different options of something available. So there can be a variety of furniture, a variety of chairs. There's so many different chairs that you can choose from. There can be a variety of toys when you go to the toy store. Our next word is visible. Visible is an adjective and it means able to be seen. For example, the skyscraper is visible from across the river. I put a picture here of Lotte World Tower because it is such a tall building that I can say it is visible from very far away. So even if you are far away from this building, it is still visible. You can still see it. So anything that you can see, we can call that visible. Did you know that there are some kinds of light that are not visible to people? And that's all for this video. We went over the Book C, Unit 3 vocabulary words. Thank you for listening and see you next time. Bye!